You ever get that sinking feeling, like life is moving forward without you? Like the days are flying by and you're just existing. You wake up, check your phone, rush through the morning, go to work, do what's expected, come home, scroll through social media, maybe binge a show and then repeat. And somewhere deep inside there's this voice, quiet but persistent, that says, this isn't it. You know you were meant for more, you can feel it. But somehow you've ended up stuck in a version of life that feels like a waiting room. You're not miserable, but you're definitely not alive either. You're surviving, not living. And here's the hard truth. If you don't do something about it, nothing changes. Nobody's going to come knock on your door and hand you your dream life. No one is going to push you out of bed and say, hey, it's time to live with purpose now. That's on you. And yeah, I get it. It's not easy. You've got bills to pay, responsibilities, pressure, and maybe even people who rely on you. But let me ask you something. What's the cost of not doing anything? What does it cost you mentally, emotionally, even physically, to keep going through the motions day after day, knowing you're not living at your highest potential? Here's something no one tells you. Your best life doesn't start someday, it starts now. Not when you have more money, not when you finally feel confident, not when the timing is perfect. It starts the moment you stop waiting and decide to take back control of your time, your focus, and your energy. The moment you stop settling and start asking, what do I really want? That's the first crack in the shell. That's when the change begins. And it's okay if you don't have all the answers yet. Nobody does when they start. But you don't need a 10-year plan to take one honest step forward. You just need to say, I'm done letting life happen to me. I'm going to start showing up for myself. That's how you break out of the fog. That's how you shift from surviving to living. You've got this one life. That's it. One chance to feel joy deeply, to chase something that excites you, to build relationships that fill you up, to look in the mirror and feel proud of who you are becoming. So don't let it slip away while you're stuck in a routine that's slowly draining your spirit. You don't have to flip your whole life upside down today, but you do have to start, even if it's small, even if it's messy. Start where you are, with what you have. Just don't wait anymore, because your best life, it's not waiting for the right time. It's waiting for you to show up. Let's be real. Most people don't change because they don't want to face the truth. It's not because they're weak or unmotivated. It's because being honest with yourself is one of the hardest things in the world. We lie to ourselves constantly. I'm fine. It's not that bad. I'll start tomorrow. But those little lies, they pile up. And before you know it, you've built a life around avoiding the truth. You stay busy so you don't have to think. You stay distracted so you don't have to feel. But nothing changes until you stop running. Brutal honesty isn't about beating yourself up. It's not about guilt or shame. It's about waking up to your own patterns and saying, I see it, I own it, and I'm done pretending. That's where real change starts, not in some perfect motivational speech, not in a fancy planner or a goal-setting app. It starts when you stop lying to yourself about what's working and what's not. When you say, this habit is destroying me, or I keep blaming others, but I'm the one avoiding growth. That moment, that's powerful. That's when you begin to take your life back. Here's the thing, your best life isn't hiding from you. It's right there on the other side of your excuses. But to get there, you've got to stop pretending that your comfort zone is your home. You've got to look yourself in the mirror and ask, am I really doing the best I can, or am I just doing what's easy? And if that answer stings a little, it's supposed to. Growth always starts with discomfort. That sting is the spark that wakes you up. Most people want change, but they don't want to go through the pain of honesty. They'd rather stay numb, blame the world, and hope things magically get better. But if you want more out of life, you've got to be willing to call yourself out. You've got to admit when you're wasting time, when you're playing small, when you're choosing fear over freedom, that kind of honesty is rare. But it's also the beginning of everything, so stop waiting for motivation to hit you. It's not coming. What's coming is another year of the same, unless you interrupt the cycle with truth. No more pretending, no more excuses, just you, showing up for yourself in the rawest, realest way possible. Ask yourself right now, what's the one thing I keep avoiding? What truth have I been scared to admit? That's where your breakthrough lives, in the space between who you've been and who you're becoming. That space is painful, but it's also where your power is. You can't change what you won't face. But the moment you do, you unlock a level of strength that's been inside you all along. It's time to stop hiding, face it, own it, and take the first step forward. Your real life is waiting on the other side of truth. When people talk about changing their lives, they think it has to be this huge, dramatic overhaul, like quitting your job, moving across the world, or waking up at 4 a.m. every day and suddenly becoming a productivity machine. But that's not how real change works, not for most of us. You don't have to flip your whole life upside down to start living better. You just need to shift, slightly, consistently, quietly. It's the small moves repeated over time that transform everything. Think about it like this. If a plane changes direction by just 1 degree, over time it ends up in a completely different place. Same with your life. If you start your morning with 5 minutes of silence instead of scrolling, that's a shift. If you write down what you're grateful for before bed, that's a shift. If you choose to speak kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down, that's a shift. It might feel like nothing in the moment, but it adds up. The problem is, we underestimate the power of small choices because they don't give us instant results. We want fireworks, we want transformation overnight. But the truth is, your best life is built in silence, in patience, in moments no one sees. It's built in your choices when no one is watching. And if you wait for a big moment to feel motivated or to suddenly become your best self, you'll wait forever. Change doesn't come from motivation, it comes from habits. And habits are born from small, intentional shifts. Maybe your life feels stuck because you're trying to fix everything at once, and it's overwhelming. So you shut down, you procrastinate, you stay where it's familiar. But what if you just focused on one thing you can change today? One thing that's in your control? Maybe it's your morning routine, maybe it's your mindset, maybe it's the way you talk to people or the way you talk to yourself. Start small, let it grow. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take one step, and you don't need to wait until you feel ready. That's just fear in disguise. You'll never feel ready, but you can feel willing. Willing to try, willing to start, willing to fail and still keep going. That's where momentum begins. That's how you build a life you're proud of, one brick at a time. So ask yourself, what's one thing I can do differently today? Not next month, not next year, today. Because your future self isn't shaped by what you wish for. It's shaped by what you do day in, day out, when no one's clapping for you, when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's inconvenient. That's the truth. And that's the good news, because it means your best life isn't out of reach. It's right here. You just have to start building it one small shift at a time. The reason so many people feel lost in life isn't because they're broken. It's not because they're lazy or don't care. It's because they're drowning in noise. Every second there's a new voice trying to tell you who you should be. Social media, TV, friends, family, advertising, it never stops. You're constantly bombarded with opinions, with expectations, with people's ideas of success, beauty, power, happiness. And if you're not careful, all that noise becomes your inner voice. You start to believe that if you're not living up to those outside standards, you're failing. But that's a lie. That's the trap. See, when the outside world gets too loud, the inside world gets quiet. You lose touch with yourself. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop asking, "What do I want?" and instead ask, "What will make them happy?" or "What will make me look successful?" And that's when you start drifting. Not because you're not trying, but because you're sailing someone else's map. Your best life doesn't come from following the crowd. It comes from hearing your own voice and having the courage to follow it. But that voice doesn't yell. It whispers. And in order to hear it, you've got to cut the noise. You've got to unplug at least a little. You've got to create space, stillness, moments when you stop scrolling, stop comparing, and start listening again. It could be 10 minutes of silence in the morning before your phone. It could be turning off the TV and taking a walk. It could be journaling your thoughts instead of drowning them in content. Whatever it is, the goal is simple. Lower the volume of the outside world long enough to hear the truth within you. Because it's still there, buried under years of expectations and pressure and noise, but it's there. Cutting the noise also means being brutally honest about what voices you're letting in. Some people in your life might mean well, but their words plant seeds of doubt. Some accounts you follow might be entertaining, but they leave you feeling not good enough. You don't owe anyone access to your mind. You don't have to consume everything. Protect your peace like it's gold, because it is. You can't afford to lose yourself while trying to please everyone else. When you start listening to your own voice, things begin to shift. You stop chasing the wrong goals. You stop comparing your path to someone else's timeline. You begin to realize that just because someone else is doing something doesn't mean it's meant for you. You're allowed to want different things. You're allowed to define success your way. You're allowed to move slower, quieter, more intentionally. And no, cutting the noise won't magically fix everything, but it gives you clarity. It reminds you of who you were before the world told you who to be. It reconnects you with your core. And once you find that again, you begin to live from a place of truth instead of pressure. You begin to act from alignment, not anxiety. So the question is, when was the last time you truly sat with yourself and listened? No distractions, no voices, just you. If the answer is, "I don't remember," then that's where you start. Because the journey to your best life doesn't begin with doing more. It starts with hearing more, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own needs. It's not about cutting all the noise forever. Life is loud, that's reality, but you can lower the volume just enough to let your soul speak again. And when it does, listen, trust it, follow it. That's how you find your voice. That's how you start living, not just existing. Let's talk about something most people avoid, discipline. Not the strict, cold, military kind you might imagine, but the kind that sets you free. Most people think freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want, but real freedom, the kind that lets you live your best life, comes from doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. That's what discipline really is. It's not punishment, it's power. It's self-respect. It's showing up for your future self, not just your current mood. You can't live your best life while making decisions based only on comfort. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. It happens when you stretch yourself, when you say no to short-term pleasure in exchange for long-term peace. You might want to stay in bed. You might want to scroll, avoid, delay. But every time you choose discipline instead of distraction, you're telling yourself, "I matter, my goals matter, my future matters." Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. It's not about being harsh, it's about being honest. Honest enough to say, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I won't get where I want to go. That level of honesty is rare. Most people make excuses, they blame time, other people, bad luck. But discipline removes the excuses and says, "I am responsible for my life." That's where change starts. Let me ask you something. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? And how many of those tomorrows never came? That's what undisciplined living does. It delays your dreams. It keeps you busy with things that don't matter, while your purpose quietly slips away. The days pass, the years pass, and you're still stuck in the same loop. At some point, You've got to wake up and say, no more. No more wasting time. No more running from the work. No more lying to yourself. Because here's the truth. Your best life won't show up on its own. You have to build it, day by day, choice by choice. It won't always feel exciting, it won't always look impressive, but those small, disciplined steps you take when no one's watching, that's where transformation begins. That's where your life starts to shift. Not in one big moment, but in hundreds of tiny ones, where you chose discipline over excuses. Want to write a book, build a business, get healthy, fix your finances, then show up daily, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when you don't see results yet. Especially then, because that's what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Dreamers wait for motivation. Doers build discipline. And the people you look up to, they aren't superhuman. They just kept showing up. Don't confuse discipline with pressure. Discipline isn't about being hard on yourself. It's about being good to yourself. It's loving yourself enough to give yourself structure. It's saying, I deserve better, so I will do better. That's powerful. That's how you take control of your time, your energy, your focus. It's how you stop living by default and start living by design. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just commit to one small habit. Wake up earlier, move your body, speak kindly to yourself, protect your time, stay off the apps, do one hard thing a day. And over time, those small wins turn into momentum. That momentum turns into transformation. And that's how you start becoming the person you were always meant to be. So ask yourself, what's one thing I can be more disciplined about starting today? And will I choose to act or just wish? Let's wrap this up with the most important truth of all. You don't need permission to begin. Not from the world, not from your past, not even from that voice in your head that keeps saying, you're not ready. Because guess what? Nobody ever feels ready. Not fully, not perfectly. And if you keep waiting for the perfect time, the perfect mood, the perfect version of yourself, you'll be waiting forever. Your best life doesn't wait. It's built one brave decision at a time. And it starts the moment you decide you're worthy of it. So let me ask you, why not today? Today, not someday. Today, not when things settle down. Because life doesn't slow down for you to find yourself. You've got to find yourself in the middle of the mess. You've got to reach into the chaos, the fear, the hesitation, and pull out your courage anyway. That's how change begins. Not with a grand plan, but with a bold, messy, honest decision to try. And maybe you've messed up. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've wasted time, pushed people away, doubted yourself 1,000 times over. That's okay. That doesn't disqualify you. It prepares you. The cracks in your story don't make you weak. They make you real. They make you human. And humans grow. They heal. They start again. Your best life isn't some fantasy version of perfection. It's a life where you show up fully, honestly, where you start listening to your own voice and acting on it, where you stop running from your potential and start walking toward it, imperfect, unsure, but moving anyway. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need a brand new identity. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to start. You need to say, I am done waiting. I'm done shrinking. I'm done living halfway. Even if your hands are shaking, even if you're not sure what the second step is, because the first step is what matters most. That's what creates momentum. That's what turns a thought into movement. And yes, people might not understand. They might question you, doubt you, laugh at your ideas. Let them. They're not living your life. You are. And you'll be the one who wakes up in your own skin 5 years from now, either proud you tried or wishing you had. That choice is yours. And it always has been. Every single day, you get to decide who you want to be. not based on yesterday, not based on what others expect, but based on what you truly want from this life, not what looks good, not what pleases everyone, what you want. Deep down, that thing you haven't said out loud because it scares you a little, that's where your best life begins. So today, let this be your line in the sand. Let this be the moment you stop waiting and start choosing. Not in a perfect way, not in a loud way, in your own way. Quiet, determined, clear. Your best life isn't out there waiting. It's already inside you, just buried under years of noise, fear, and hesitation. But now you know you've got the map, you've got the truth, you've got everything you need to begin. All that's left is a simple decision. Will I keep living the life that's expected of me, or will I start living the life that's meant for me? You already know the answer, so go live it. In today's video, we've discussed the powerful steps you can take to start living your best life today. From cutting through the noise around you and rediscovering your own voice to embracing the discipline that makes change possible, we've explored the truths and actions that lead to real transformation. The road to your best life doesn't start with perfection. It begins with the simple decision to show up, choose yourself, and take action. Your best life isn't out there waiting for you. It's inside you, ready to be discovered and unleashed. So if you're ready to stop waiting and start living, take that first step today. What's one action you can take right now to start creating the life you've always dreamed of? Drop a comment below and let us know what you're committing to today. And if you found value in this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more motivational content to keep you on track toward your best life. Remember, your journey starts now. Let's do this together.